Welcome to episode 5 of Nostalgic Pixel. I'm Brian, and this episode we're going to be looking at 5 puzzle games not named Tetris. Many of these games have been re-released on many different platforms over the years. Some of these games are among my favorite puzzle games of all time. Others are fun and less common. So today I put together 5 great puzzle games, so let's take a look. First up is Bust-A-Move 2 Arcade Edition by Taito for the Sega Saturn. The arcade is where I first played this game, and I really enjoyed it. If this game looks familiar, then chances are you may very well likely have seen this game under a different name, as there are many clones. Puzzle Bobble is its original name in Japan. This game often stars the Bobble crew. Here, you shoot colored bubbles to create groups of 3 or more that will then break and fall off, all while the bubbles advance slowly further down the screen. I try to work my way up and reach the further ones to knock off large groups. This is another very faithful arcade port on the Sega Saturn. Next up is Money Idol Exchanger by Face for the PlayStation, originally released only in Japan. Thankfully, I found out about this game a few years back when it was first made available for download as an import on the PlayStation 3. This game uses Japanese currency, which explains why there was not a release outside of Japan at first. I just see shiny icons and I match the icons till they become bigger coins or go away. You spend your time quickly rearranging the coins as they move further and further down the screen. This is a fun and accessible puzzle game that really changes things up. Next we have Baku Baku by Sega for the Sega Saturn. While I can't remember playing this game in the arcade or back then, I was pleasantly surprised by this charming puzzle game when I picked it up a few years ago. In this game, you organize different crushers in the form of animals and blocks in the form of food that they eat. So in this game, you want to feed all the animals. Dogs eat the bones, rabbits eat carrots, pandas eat bamboo, the monkey eats a banana, and later the mouse eats the cheese. This is a fun puzzle game that I picked up relatively cheap. Also, it's one you don't get seen thrown around much. Next up are 2 versions of Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo by Capcom for the PlayStation and the PlayStation 3 HD Remix. They combine my love of Capcom fighting characters in this versus puzzle game. This game has lots of charm and it uses the cute chibi characters of all the players. There have been many releases of this game over the years. Each player has a different drop pattern. Find the player that you think has the worst and go from there. Choose poorly and it may end badly for you. Like Baku Baku, you group up similarly colored gems, waiting for your crusher to strike, setting it up to where you can have a big combo to send a bunch of junk to your opponent, overwhelming them. This game was re-released on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 as an HD remix. Sadly, this version is kind of stretched and blurred when it comes to the pixel art. The gems, however, look fantastic. The breaking is excellent. This is the game I spring to when I think of a versus puzzle game. I think it's a good idea to play around with the different characters to see what it's like to have the different drop patterns and find out which one you think would be the most devastating to your partner, and also be aware of what they can dish out to you and play accordingly into it. Lastly, we're going to look at 2 versions of Lumines Electronic Symphony on the PlayStation Vita, played on the PlayStation TV, and Lumines Supernova for the PS3. This is the Res of Tetris for me, created by the creators of Res. This was originally released as a launch title for the PlayStation Portable. This game really sold me early on the PlayStation Portable, that and the ability for me to play videos on the go. The PlayStation Portable was really exciting for me as I felt Nintendo had really dragged their feet in staying in a generation or 2 behind the console gaming, and this system really went for it. When I first started playing this game, it was more of a pick up and play for a few minutes, and then after a while it became pick it up and play it for an hour or so. The way this game works is that you have two color blocks or orbs. You want to group up the colors in either groups of 2x2 or 2x4 or 2x6, and so that as the bar scans along, it caches in all the blocks. So you have to keep your eye on the bar that's scanning slowly across the screen and setting up different combos and being ready for when it comes by, so that you don't end up only getting half the credit. Another thing that will happen over time based on your points, that will change the theme, and this can really kind of throw you off for a moment, but you really have to just kind of get right back into it and adjust quickly as the game continues to move faster and faster over time. Music plays a big part of this game. As the developers of Rez, it has a great soundtrack and really gets you into the rhythm of things as they begin to speed up. As a portable, you really want to play this with headphones on, or as you're in front of the TV on the PlayStation 3 like this version, it's really nice to have the speakers up. You can really feel the impact that you're having towards the music as you're playing the game. I really enjoy this game, but like I said, when I first started playing it, it was more of a pick up and play, and now these days though, when I play it, I really have to set aside some time, as I can go on for over an hour. Well, there you have it. That's a look at 5 great puzzle games. Lumines is a favorite of mine. I hope for another release on current consoles soon. This genre for me is a nice way to relax. The versus element in puzzle games I find also very fun and can be a great competitive experience with a friend. There are so many other great puzzle games out there. I really enjoyed covering this genre and I hope to do so again. What are some puzzle games that you enjoy playing? Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a comment below of what game you might like me to also cover next.